The lower than expected collections point to a subdued economy.
If you looked particularly at company taxes and personal income taxes, the two main contributors, those were still under severe pressure. So about 50 billion less than government would have hoped for at the end of last year, although by the beginning of this year they have adjusted their expectations and we ended up much closer where they thought we would in February.
Our collection increase from one year to the next has actually come down quite a bit. So it was around 6.3% increase, which is roughly in line with inflation. And I think we had become quite spoilt as a country and as an economy, seeing year-on-year increases of 9% and so on.
Part of the problem facing the tax collector appeared to be a leadership issue, so much so that its head, Tom Moyane, was suspended by President Ramaphosa in March. There's also a degree of non-compliance creeping into the South African tax base.
We've seen that the trust of companies as well as general citizens in South Africa has been eroded in terms of tax collections and how in terms of how they feel their tax money is being applied and used. It is, however, something that is a little bit elusive and difficult to pinpoint exactly how much that will be.
The country's economy is going to have to grow substantially more than it has recently.
The majority of the additional revenue that we need will have to be driven by economic growth and improvements in economic growth. The administration is extremely important, but it probably is more important from a compliance perspective than if you really look at the big numbers and change that we need to see in terms of really collecting this extra 100 to 200 billion more that we need.
The most contentious issue in this year's budget is the 1% increase in VAT. But it could be temporary and tied into political imperatives.
I would imagine that from an election point of view, all sorts of other reasons, and just sound economics, if it were possible in a year's time to drop it back again because of improved revenue collections in other areas, that would certainly be a possibility.
Tax collections were down this current year, but if everything goes according to plan and everything works the way it should do, we'll have economic growth, increased taxes and more jobs. I'm Angelo Coppola for CGTN in Johannesburg, South Africa.